It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire. Our mission is to empower. And our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Joseph Knight III, who's in the building, and he'll be talking about expanding through service. Wow. So let me first welcome Joseph to the show. Joseph, how are you, my friend?
Finding yourself, sir.
Good. It's a pleasure to meet you, man. I wish you could pass some of that food through these fiber optic lines, man. I love it. Gotta check it out. Gotta make sure we order this stuff. So let's step back. We're gonna talk about expanding through service, but can you take a moment to talk about maybe some of the challenges you feel that entrepreneurs have, and maybe you've had it, where they're always chasing the next shiny object and they get caught up in so many distractions, it's hard to focus on keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yes,
what are some of the challenges that you see entrepreneurs face today getting the business up and running?
Well, one of the biggest challenges, even in science, and this applies to entrepreneurship, is overcoming inertia, meaning just inactivity. The most power that's used in starting up a car is getting it started, rather, or for car running is getting it started. So, just first of all, overcoming fear and inertia, ignorance. So, just you want to start, just getting started, and lack of information. You want to get information on what you're doing and understanding on what you're doing as an entrepreneur. It's so easy to nowadays get up in the hype of so many people that come with their visions and their ideas for you, and you have to understand that that's their vision and it's their idea. Find out what vision you have. Find out what vision you've been given, and get some understanding on that vision and go forward. Don't let fear and ignorance talk you out of it. And using
You
that
said
fear and
fear.
ignorance inside.
Absolutely. You said fear a couple of different times. Thanks for sharing. Question on someone's mind might be, okay, what's Joseph's view of the world of fear? Because, if I put my money into a business, get started and don't work out, I'm losing my money. If I get started and I don't get any customers, man, I'm going to look really bad. And so there's a lot of different fears people could have. So here's the question. How does Joseph deal with fear? And maybe you didn't have to. Maybe you're a trust fund baby. I don't know. But how do you deal with fear? And then number two, what would you recommend to someone that's sitting out there and they want to get started, but fear is holding them back?
Okay, well, good question. The aspect of fear that I speak of and that I'm very familiar with, a lot of times is simply, outside voices. Sometimes the fear of outside voices, and those outside voices can come from either inside your head, those outside voices of doubt, or come from family members or people that have been close to you for all these years, that feel like they know you, but they don't know what's inside of you. So just the fear of your family members or the fear of people's reactions to what you're going to do, especially when you're doing something that hasn't been done in your circle. You have to take that Peter mindset of, at least get out the boat, at least get out the boat. Instead of just sitting there being a spectator to your own success, at least get out the boat. So
Yeah.
that's fear.
So we're curious. Folks want to know a little bit about how did you get started in business? They'll see a little bit of the bio that might be below, but how did Joseph get in business? What was the moment that he decided I'm at least going to start a company? Because you've had the benefit, and I don't want to tell your story yet, but you had the benefit. This is not your first rodeo. So number one, what's the backstory? Who are you? And number two, what made you want to get in business and do this thing for yourself?
Okay, well, I'm Joseph Knight, CEO of Rose's Turkey Lasagna. And it's a recipe that we are taking national, starting with the Mid-Atlantic area and then branching out to the other regions of the U.S. and then across the country. My story in a nutshell is by trade, I acquired the skill of electrician through my local union back in 2001. And I had the honor and pleasure of working for one company, one union company, for the whole 8 years that I worked there. It's quite common in that field, in that industry, that you change companies, rather it be from reduction of force, rather it be from layoffs, or just you just get bored and you up inside you want to change other companies. I had the pleasure of being in one company that time 8 years that I did that. But while I was there working, we had the schedules of working from around 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. pretty much. That was pretty much our schedules on a regular. It changed here and there, but for the most part, we had the opportunity, and I also had the opportunity to work around other cultures while I was there. It was other cultures in my particular company. I mean, cultures anywhere from Africa to South America, and we worked in a lot of commercial buildings where the white collar people work, where aka office people work. So I began to see during that 8 years, when we took our break in the morning at 9 o'clock, since we were, starting at 6, we took our lunch break at 9 in the morning. And, for the most part. And in a nutshell, I've noticed a common thread between the office people that we worked around, who we were building their offices for electrically, and the people that I worked with hand in hand, as far as the other cultures and my own culture. Everybody ate consistently. And I was told at a young age, or taught at a young age of, I say, about 19 to 21, that we as a people are some of the biggest consumers of food, clothing, and shelter in this country, but the least producers of it. But if we learn how to be a producer of at least one of those things, that you could always create a job for yourself versus always going to look for a job. So I saw that no matter what culture it was around me, the first thing people was going to do was eat. They could put off even the work that we were doing, the electric work and homeowners and so forth. They will put that off because that's not as much of a need as food and clothing and shelter. So I said, and food is also one of the things. I saw that food is one of the things that people didn't try to bargain you or barter you a lot for. The cheapest of people around us, even when it came time to eat, they was going to pay for it, and they understood that. So I said, people will put off having to get a light bulb changed or a wire fixed or something like that if they can, or if they really feel like they want to or they have to. But one thing they're going to do at some point in a few day period, they're going to eat, and they're going to pay for good food. And don't care how cheap they are, they're going to pay for good food, and they understand it. They don't give you, they don't try to haggle you. Because I tried to sell stuff at the flea markets and stuff. My local flea market, maybe set up a table and sell like little DVDs or little lotions or soaps or something like that. And then I was right next to a food vendor who was selling food, and the food vendor stayed consistently busy, unlike me and my table, who might have got some business. But the food people always got business. And if you look around at any events, large events, outdoor, big or small, the food people are usually getting it in. So that's my story. And that's what made me drew my interest toward food.
And when your interest was drawn toward food, what was the next step? Because you have something spectacular. You have the recipe. I'll let you say the name of it, so because I want to take it away. But that was the first step. And you said, okay, food is the thing. What led you to say, I can get this recipe, I know it's going to work, and I'm going to go out there and create something that doesn't exist?
Well, like I was saying a little bit earlier, as far as when you least jump out the boat, you'd be surprised how things work with you, and
Yeah.
things almost and it's almost you attract what you go towards or what you focus on. And I'm a living testimony of that, because I didn't know a thing about as far as preparation of food. I was a typical bachelor,
I know. I'm
and
trying to. That's I'm like, the audience is like, oh my gosh, tell us. I love it. Keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
yeah,
to interrupt
sure.
you.
I didn't have an ounce. I wasn't a chef. I wasn't culinarily trained or anything like that. But I have a business. I had a business mind, and I said I want to create a platform where as though I could sell food. And my intention was to hire. Actually, was I had a buddy of mine, and we were talking about getting some of the cooks from Martin's Crosswinds in Greenbelt, Maryland, letting them cook my food, and I go around and sell it. That was my plan initially. That was my thought initially. However, in the process, and this is a lesson in, don't look at things like when you get news of stuff that is a bad thing all the time. because in my process of going about getting a food license, I was told by the jurisdiction that I'm in that you have to go through a commercial kitchen. You have to, you have to go through some steps. You can't just start, legally just start cooking and selling to people and stuff like that. But they told me you had to go through a commercial kitchen. This was my Prince George's County administration, if you will. And in the course of me doing it, and this is another thing you got to be willing to do, you got to be willing to do those things that make you legal, because in that is a blessing when you do stuff and you be able to not have to look over your shoulders because you're trying to save money and not do what they tell you to do. You're going to pay one way or another. But in
Yeah.
my case, by me in that process, me going through that process and saying, okay, now I got to find a commercial kitchen. I got to find somebody that's going to get me the food manager's license or get me testing for the food manager's license. The lady, she's deceased now, but the lady that turned me on to the commercial kitchen that I wound up going to, um, this guy name was Chef Thomas Fest, and he happened to take a liking to me when I came through his doors because I came with an attitude of, as a little child, as the word says, you come as a little child when you don't know what you're doing, and I come putting on airs and stuff. And this guy proceeded to show me the business and showed me my recipes and the recipes that would become signature, including the one that we have now.
And hence now you have the recipe for
Yes, sir.
lasagna.
Yes, sir.
Now take us
Ground.
through the process because you are an entrepreneur from beginning to end. What was one of the challenges you had? Or I'll say this first. What would you say to the entrepreneurs like, wow, he did it. He took an idea, he went through the process, and now he is where he is today. For the person sitting there saying, was there a business plan? Did he have to write one out? Was he able to fund it himself? Did he get an angel investor? See, I'm just curious because what was the next step that led him to where he is now?
Okay. Well, you do. There's multiple ways to do that. Myself, I went out. I went out and hit the pavement. That's what I did. I went out and hit the pavement. I took what little I was learning from the guy, and I went out there. I made some flyers up, and I built that way. I did the what they call the grassroots, and I went to my local salons and barbershops and so forth. I had one that started with the barbershop that I was going to get my hair cut on a regular basis. It started there. I brought some of it, and I remember one guy was saying, one entrepreneur was saying, in the beginning, you be willing to serve your gift. So instead of me just looking for money off the back, I let people taste stuff. I let people taste what I was learning. I went and gave taste, and you know how it is when people get good food, something good, something unique. Make sure your product is unique and as good. It's not something that you can just get from the next door curry out or something. But when I did that, the reaction was so good that the word just spread, and you run with it. You stay consistently going and just build. They tell people about it, and they tell people about it, and they tell people about it. So, you got to be willing to overcome that fear too. You got to be willing, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, full-fledged entrepreneur, you got to be willing to do those things that you're not necessarily comfortable doing if you aren't comfortable doing it.
And today we have Rose's turkey lasagna, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
sir.
It exists. It's real. You can
Yes,
go
sir.
to the site. You can see it. Now, I know you're thinking, because we have a segment here, man, this is a perfect story. Has he had any setbacks, Shay? Have there been any challenges? We have a segment here, just to let you know, Joseph, called Today is My January 1st. It might be a good segment. And
Yes, sir.
today is my January 1st. And I know for those folks that wait to say those words, you've been waiting till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to say, today is my January 1st. It feels good. I know it. And then for others, you're tuning in for the very first time. So we want to welcome you to the Happy Entrepreneur family. Today is my January 1st, just so you're clear, is one of our personal mantras. It represents a do-over. It represents a fresh start. It means the past, no matter what the past is, it no longer equals the future. So my question to Joseph on the other side as he's sitting there is, what was one of the setbacks you had in your life? One of the challenges you had at any point in your life where things didn't go the way they should, and you had to bounce back from it. And if you haven't had any, it's cool. Maybe it's just been one success after another. We don't know. But we want to know, man. Talk to
Yes,
us.
sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. I'll say the setback in two portions in one. Number one, it's good to have a drive, and say you want to do stuff, but in order to last at something, the word says, with all thy getting, get understanding. Because understanding will allow you to do something repeatedly, will allow you to do something when the storms come. Because the storms will come and test you for authenticity, test you in your vision to see if it's real. Like I said earlier about maybe you could have a spouse or you could have a relative that's talking against it because it's not their vision. Or you could have, like I said, just your circle of people. They're in the boat in the boat and they don't want to get out and they don't want to see you get out. But a setback would be listening to that. Another setback would be getting involved with the wrong people, because once you start getting something wrong, and it's a setback, I can personally say, you got to make sure whoever you get involved with, as far as your dream and your vision, is like a baby. So you got to protect it, just like you protect a newborn baby. And you got to make sure you learn whoever you're getting in business with. Whoever, for me, the setback in the lesson was, you'll get people that all of a sudden they want to latch on to your vision, or they see something, they see a drive going, and you got people out there who, quite frankly, are wolves. So you stay, and so you get discernment, get discernment, so that you don't get yourself involved with people that wind up killing or stealing your dream, and then you starting over again, January 1st, January 1st, January 1st. So that is one thing I can say was a setback. And once I got an understanding of that component, you can get wisdom in learning who you get involved with, get in bed with, as they say in business, and go forward that way. Because I found that sometimes less is more. The less people, the less of, the wrong people you have, the further you get. The more the wrong people you have in your circle trying to partner up and all that kind of stuff, the further behind you get.
And I wanted people to kind of hear that from you, so that they would know, one, there's been some challenges, there have been some setbacks, right? But I also want them to hear you've had a lot of mentors along this journey of life. And the question I love to ask, and you at home, this is the time you can lean in, because I'm about to ask the question, which is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And the question I'm framed of all the mentors you had, what's something you learned from them that you hold near and dear in your heart that you can pass on to us? And we all get the benefit. We may not meet his mentor, we may not have lived Joseph's life, but we get to take the lesson that he's learned, that he's going to share with us, and we get to pay it forward, so our lives will be better. And then we're going to get after that with Lasagna. We're going to find about this secret sauce. We're going to find about this authentic turkey lasagna. We're going to find about how we can get some of that stuff by
Yes,
I'm hungry talking about it.
yes, sir.
So what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given, my friend?
Okay. Well, actually, one of them, two things mirror what you have. Actually, two things mirror the things that you have. Two H's for me: stay humble, stay hungry. You'd be surprised when you come with the right spirit of humility. When you come with people, especially when you're getting information to better yourself in business, to better myself in business. Coming with the right spirit of humility and hungry. When nothing's more powerful than a made up mind with that hungry piece. Once you make up your mind, you got to set it like a thermostat and just keep it there and just lock it. Lock it like you like the dog. And I'm locked. When you become locked there, like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to be successful at this thing, come hell or high water. No matter what, I'm going to make it. You're going to make it, and you're going to push past whatever challenges come, because your challenge may not be my challenge. My challenge may not be yours. But once you make up your mind that you're going to make this work, no matter what, the resources and everything kind of flow your way, but you got to be in position to receive it as well, in a spirit of service, in a spirit of humility. That's been a key. That's been a key for me.
So Rose's turkey lasagna. I love lasagna. I love it. I know you fix some amazing lasagna. I can't wait to taste it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the commitment I'm making for folks that are listening and want to know. And maybe you can tell us or can't tell us. This is the main thing. This is what you're focused on. You say you want to take this from where it is today to where it's going to be in the future, right? So I guess my question to you, as you're there right now, what should folks expect? One, where can they go get the lasagna? That's number one. And number two, what could they expect from Rose's turkey lasagna going forward? Because service is one of your key ingredients.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're e-commerce, fortunately. I come from a background. I've done the restaurant stuff. I've done the food truck stuff with multiple things. So we've, like I said, we're focused on this one recipe because it's streamlined, it's less labor intensive all around when you're trying to be all over the place. So in a nutshell, you can get it in multiple ways. You can go on the website, roseslasagna.com, apologize. And you can order it through the website, e-commerce, and it can be shipped to you if you're not in the DMV. If you are in the DMV, we can actually take it to you, bring it right to you. It is produced in a local Prince George's County commercial kitchen, so this is not something I'm doing out of my home. So it protects all the legalities and everything. You pay a cost for that, but it's nothing like being able to lay down at night and go right to sleep, like I said. So you're getting a commercially, legally produced product. So you can get it those two ways.
What do you enjoy most about what you're doing now? You seem to be happy. You seem to be excited. I know it's got to be a lot of work. It can't be easy. But what do you enjoy today about owning the business, Rose's Turkey Lasagna, and what gives you the greatest fulfillment out of it?
Oh man, well, I enjoy the feeling of seeing people taste something that unique that they didn't taste before. I mean, as you know, there are lasagnas all over the place. There are turkey lasagna ingredients all over the place, maybe old recipes all over the place. But the way this guy showed me back in 2007, it's endured and it's lasted. It's lasted through all the storms, all the challenges and stuff, and to this day. Some of it's the same people that was buying them back then. I can take it to them and they buy it now. And then the new people, the joy and feeling when new customers taste it or new people taste it, and just that feeling or that reaction of the or when they text or they give you a feedback saying, man, this is good, I ain't tasted like this, and it's ground turkey. So it's that step between the people who want to go all the way beef, who want to stay on beef, and then the people that want to go all the way vegan. There's a passageway, there's a middle point. I found my middle point, I found my little niche. So to produce it this way, a unique product like this, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of being able to name a business after my mother. Start a legacy for my family. It's not something that I got to do it that I'm promoting somebody else's thing. It's something that a vision that I've received in acting on it. It's nothing like doing that. Trust me, you can't put a price on it.
Yeah, I can see the smile on your face, man. You're very excited. I know it's a lot of work as an entrepreneur, but it's certainly worth it. I'm encouraging everyone to go out there. 2 questions I have as we close out. Bring this to a home stretch. Number 1, what type of clients are you looking for? So who's this food for? I think that's fair. And number 2, once again, how can folks go order the food?
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, in addition to anybody and everybody who wants it, we're going for the customers, aka the restaurants, the Italian restaurants or the local delis and stuff where we can wholesale the pans to. We're already doing that with a few of them here locally, but it's just the idea of just maximum exposure and exposing it across the bridge to Virginia, to Upper Maryland, and then, like I said, taking it regional. So that is one. Those are customers we're going for. And then ideally, ultimately, when the time is right, we got our lawyer working now to with the U.S. Patent and Trade Office and everything to lock down everything. So you, like I say, you protect your vision down the road. A few years down the road, we'll be in front of investors, taking bids to buy the recipe.
God, well, let me first encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, man. You're an inspiration, you're an encouragement, and you're making that happen. And you got some good lasagna.
Thank you so
So
much,
thank you
man.
so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having us, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And keep on doing what you're doing because you're definitely helping us by providing this platform and helping us to help others.
Thank you so much. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Without you, there is no show. We're going to encourage you to connect with us. You can find us on social media at I am Shay Brown. So I am Shay Brown. Connect with us. Make sure you follow us. And we want to follow you. We want to get to know who you are, by the way. It's so cool. With that
Yes,
being
sir.
said, I never get tired of sharing every night at this time, at this hour, at this moment that you, no matter what's going on in your life, you're freaking amazing. Like you're so fantastically awesome that you're someone that has so much potential inside of you to change the world, make impact, that you're going to make it happen. And because of that reason, because of your awesomeness, because you're great, because you're a winner, because you're a game changer. I believe that today is your January 1st. And here's what I want you to know with every fiber in my body, and I believe it, your best is still yet to come. They ain't seen it yet. Your best is yet to come. Your best is still yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things how we connect again next time. God bless. We wish you success. Thanks a lot, Joseph, man. I'll talk to you soon. Peace, everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace.